Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Trucking Tower podcast. I'm very excited to be joined today by Ellen Voie, who's the president and CEO of Women in Trucking Association. How are you doing today, Ellen?
I'm doing great, Andy. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thank you for joining me today. I was really excited to talk with you. You and I are going to be talking about the top 3 challenges facing the industry, top 3 secrets to success, and some news within the trucking industry as well. So everybody's going to want to stay tuned for that. I'd like to open the show today by thanking our podcast partner, All Truckers Together Against Child Abuse, where I serve as a national spokesperson, and I know you've spoken with them as well. Please be sure to visit attica.org, that's ATTACA.org, and feel free to message me about a corporate media partnership. So to kick off our discussion, Ellen, where were you? What happened? What inspired you to do what you do today?
Well, like a lot of women who come into the trucking industry, I didn't in high school say I want to work in transportation. In fact, I wanted to do broadcast journalism, but I was working at a steel fabricating plant and doing drafting, and they came to me and said, we'd like to move you into traffic and we'll send you to school. So that's where I got my start, and that was back in 1980. And fast forward, my passion is for the people in this industry. I was married to a professional driver. We had a small fleet. And when I did my master's thesis, I focused on the complex identities of women married to professional drivers, and how when he's home, she's one person. When he's away, she's very independent. And so the people side of the industry has always been my passion. And so when I started Women in Trucking, it was to empower women to address obstacles. Our mission is actually to encourage the employment of women in the industry, address obstacles, and celebrate success and tell their stories. So my passion has always been the people side of the trucking industry. And so that's where we are today, is supporting women in the industry.
Very good. And I saw you actually have men as well as a part of your membership. I think I saw 15% or so men support the organization as well. Is that about right?
Exactly.
Very nice.
I like to say that we're not for women. We're not for women as much as we're about women. And so 15% of our members are men who support our mission. And I have to say, we have about 5,500 members in 10 countries. And corporate and individual members. So we're growing.
Very nice. Well, I see things from you guys from time to time, and I really enjoy seeing your coverage. So keep it up. What would you say are the top 3 challenges facing the trucking industry today?
The first challenge is the industry's image. People don't see the value in the transportation industry. They don't connect that truck on the road to themselves. They're not saying, oh, that truck could be, taking my, groceries to the grocery store, or the clothing to the mall, or whatever. They don't make that personal connection. We don't do a good enough job in doing that. Secondly, we don't brag about our safety record. We don't brag about how we're really focused on safety, and our goal is to keep not just the driver safe, but our roads safe, and all the technology in our vehicles that enables us to be safer. And whether it's anti-collision devices, anti-rollover, the automated transmissions even have proven to be keep your focus outside instead of inside. And then the driver issue. We aren't upfront with drivers on what to expect. We aren't really telling them, hey, make sure that your family knows that you might be away for a while, and prepare them. Tell them who to call if the plumbing's backed up. Give them resources and make sure that they're prepared, because it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. And so we need to do a better job helping drivers and their families fit into this industry. Absolutely.
It is. It's a lifestyle. And one of the cool things I think about it is you get to see the country, and see some really neat places. I've seen a lot of social media posting from drivers, and it's fun to see, all the awesome places there are to visit. What would you say on the flip side of that? What are some of the top success secrets that others can model from based on your experiences?
Well, the first secret to success is ask a lot of questions. Okay. And women, I'm told, typically ask more questions of their recruiter. They'll ask questions like, where should I go to school? Who's gone there? Who can I talk to? What are the types of schools? What is the company like? What is the culture of the company? Are they really focused on safety? And also, women are more collaborative and team oriented, so we make decisions differently. So we're asking a lot of questions, making sure that the company has an open door policy, connecting with others, and also women value their relationship with their dispatcher higher than men, because again, we're very collaborative. So their dispatcher really has to prove that they have their back, and that they're part of the team. And also, you have to be persistent. You have to keep pushing forward. You can't give up. You really have to set that goal and focus on that goal. And yes, it's hard. And yes, you're going to have obstacles, but you can do it, and you have to believe in yourself. And then the final secret to success is you have to have a thick skin. The trucking industry has always been male dominated. It's a male dominated environment. And so, especially for women, you can't let things bother you. You can't, there's no place for harassment, and there's no place for negative comments. But you also know that if you're going into a male dominated environment, when you say the Good Old Boys Network, they're used to their environment. And so we're fitting into their environment. And so we have to be prepared for those challenges.
Absolutely. Great advice. What kind of news or upcoming events would you like to share with the audience today?
We have so many things that we're working on. One exciting one is our conference is coming up in November, 7th through 9th. And the last time we were in person, we had over 1,100 attendees, 85% women. And so it's a great place to network and educate yourself and learn. And everything at the conference is for men and women. It's, everything from communication styles to branding to recruiting, things like that. And then our new driver ambassador program, I'm so excited about that. We have a tractor that was donated by Schneider, and the driver is a Schneider driver, and her name's Kelly Lynn. And so she works for them 2 weeks out of the month and works for us 1 week out of the month. And we're putting together this learning environment. The trailer was, donated by Walmart, and the simulator was donated by ATS. And so it will be a hands-on learning environment where people can walk in and learn, like, what skills do I need? What are the opportunities? What questions should I ask? And then another thing that we're working on is chapters. People want to continue the conversation on a more regional or local level. So our first chapter meeting will be in Pennsylvania in September. So lots of exciting things coming through. And again, you can find it all on our website.
Excellent. I encourage everybody to get involved. I've really enjoyed getting to know you guys and be following you. And so everybody will want to go and get involved in that. So what are the best ways for people to connect with your organization?
Just on the web, it's womenintrucking.org. We also have a scholarship foundation, and that's at womenintruckingfoundation.org, where we provide tuition assistance for safety, CDL, technical, and then leadership. But womenintrucking.org, and we're working on a new microsite specific to drivers who have questions, and men and women. So they'll be able to come to our site and click on resources. So if they have a question, we want to be able to respond to that question.
Right. I'm sure people have a lot of questions when they're thinking about entering the industry. So that's going to be awesome. What would you say as a final word of advice for our friends out there in the trucking industry today to be successful?
Well, again, to be persistent. But one piece of advice that I was given a few years ago, and I think we all need to really soak this in and use it, is assume good intent. So if something happens, say someone cuts you off, on the road, or someone makes a comment, or someone does something that offends you, it's not always about you. Sometimes they're having a bad day, or sometimes it's not directed at you personally. And I've looked at the world differently when I assume that the person has good intent, instead of assuming that It's not. And so my piece of advice is assume good intent in all areas of your life.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Great advice. And I want to again thank you, Ellen, for coming on with me today. I really enjoyed talking with you offline and here on the show as well.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And that's going to do it for this edition of the Trucking Tower podcast. We'll see you guys soon. Take care, everybody.